Hey everybody. Today I actually seen my writing coach, and she's really just like a really good friend of mine um that I met like within the past year, and she's just like amazing, Speaking to her is like freaking therapy. So you could just imagine how amazing she is. Um I was with her for about like 2 hours, right? So she does this storytelling event and classes, and teaches you how to tell your stories. And have you ever been somewhere, or even like on TV, you feel it through the TV, you feel that person and what they're speaking about, and they just make you feel like that's the type of effect that storytelling has. And I've experienced it myself, so that's why I took on the challenge of creating my own stories. I did eventually want to write my own book. So this is me identifying, like what happened in my life and why it happened, or, like what I did to help myself get through it and all that good stuff. So I do meet with her on a regular basis. And we basically discuss the things that have happened and what I would like to share whenever an event comes up. Because I personally like to share my stories. Um, I don't just go to the class and participate. I like to share my stories and share my experiences, whether it's through storytelling, through music, through poetry. This journey of me writing and expressing myself has been so helpful, and that storytelling process is why I'm making this video, because the things that we talk about, and that's why I say that it's like therapy, because the things that we talk about are like 9 times, not even, maybe like 10 times out of 10, personal and deep. And like I cried today, you know, and those are the stories that need to be told, not only for yourself, for ourselves to heal and understand those things, but for other people who need to hear your experience, who may be experiencing the same thing, or who may not know what to do, may have friends in that predicament, and you just never know who you're helping when you're doing storytelling. So that's really like the outcome of it. And today, I just like have some notes that she said that I wrote down, because I just feel like this isn't school, like I'm not in a classroom. I'm like at her house. And I just want people to understand that you could be however old and still be a mentee. I'm 26. She's around 38. So it's like I'm continually, I don't even know how to say that word right now. Continuously learning. I'm always learning, growing, focusing on good things to help me grow emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all that. It's so helpful. But these are just like some things that she advised, not only for when I'm doing storytelling, but in general. So maybe these tips could be helpful to you guys. Um, she basically was explaining that from now on, when I'm talking about somebody, when we kind of like bring up characters in our story, or just if we're gossiping with friends, notice how we speak about them. She says, from now on, when you are talking about someone in a story, speak as if they were in the room. Know the difference between making fun of them, judging them, and being honest. And I just think that this is um, something that I've already been practicing, just because of, I'll notice if, we're talking about somebody or somebody's talking about somebody, I don't feel the need to engage in negative remarks about them, how they physically look, or how dumb they are or stupid they are or stuff like that. When other people bring that to me, I kind of filter it out, and I kind of just not ignore it, but kind of like don't feed that, right? So if I'm talking to the person, I'll probably ignore the fact that they, called this person all types of names and blah, 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 and just like focus on whatever the hell they're telling me about the actual story, versus agreeing with them and condoning that behavior, if you will. But when it happens to me myself and I start feeling that way, and I'm the one talking shit and saying this stupid ass bitch and blah, 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 I try to go to this thing, the judging part, right? So right now, between knowing the difference between making fun of, judging, and being honest, I'm over the making fun of part. I don't see no benefit to that, right? So if I feel myself getting to that point, I completely try to stop myself and remember the judging part, right? So know the difference. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to make fun of you. And I'm sure as hell not trying to judge you, right? So then I just focus on the facts. And that's me being honest. Yeah, you might have done this. Yeah, you might have done that. But the fact is, I'm still alive. Or the fact is, I'm over it now. There's a lot of things that we have control of, and I want to share my experience with you guys, so hopefully you guys could have control over some type of peace and happiness in your life as well. I'm not by any means perfect, so we were focusing on some main subjects that I wanted to talk about, and one of the messages that I wanted to um, that I wanted to express was that there's nothing wrong with doing something different. And that only came up because we were talking about my family and like how, like, how my family is. Like, I want to be totally different than that, and just stuff like that, and just like changing the cycle type of thing. That's why I started thinking and writing this stuff down, because then I started saying, like, I've always felt like I've been the black sheep. Then I wrote, I've always wore or dressed however I wanted, not really caring what people think. Um, Another one was, I've always felt this alone, not having no one type of feeling. And then the last one is, I've always been pretty sensitive with my emotions, especially about my mom. And we just like started getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I've always felt alone and not having no one type of feeling, because I felt like for this storytelling event, it was for younger teens, younger kids, or older kids, younger teens, who are in programs right now. So it was going to be at this place, and this story was going to be presented to them. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure, like younger kids could feel and kind of relate to that. So I decided to talk about that. So when I decided to talk about that, I said a story. And when I said my story, like we started talking about what happened after that. And then this was off record. So then whatever had happened after my story, we just like basically realized that I wasn't over it, and I still had her feelings, and I didn't really open that side of me yet, which I thought I was over, but I really wasn't, so I started crying, and it's just like a relief of pressure, and um like a comforting blanket that just hovers over you, and you just have this feeling and knowing that everything is going to be okay. And I realized that, I took care of emotionally, I took care of a lot of things in my head that has happened to me, but I just realized that there's more and more work as I grow, as more things open up in my mind to understanding why certain things happen in my life and why I felt that way. So, I wrote a poem, and uh, it was basically warped by me realizing that there is still a hurt person inside of me about my mother and just the things that I've experienced and stuff like that. And me forgiving her and understanding that, I can't expect everything from my mom, though she provided enough. Um, she's not perfect, so I forgave her. But internally, I still had that little girl in me who was mad or sad and frustrated and worried. And, that little girl who used to feel that lonely feeling still feels it. Why? Because I didn't attend to it. That's an emotion inside of me, which, like a lot of people put in the back of their head, you know, I did too, obviously. And you just have to realize, you know, you don't forget about it. You bring it forward, understand it, know it, nurture it, tend to it, heal yourself. So I wrote the poem, which she told me to. Nah, I mean, she didn't really tell me to, but she told me to. And I think it came out pretty decent. So it goes, hey, pretty lady, it's okay to be alone. You're younger now, but you'll want it when you're grown. Hey, pretty lady, wipe away your tears. I know you're afraid, but as you grow, fear will be nowhere near. Hey, pretty lady, don't scar your face. As you get older, there's people that will take your beauty away. Hey, pretty lady, things will get better. Those feelings you feel aren't so pleasant, but they won't be there forever. Hey, pretty lady, remember your worth. You don't know this now, but someone is praying for you at that church. Hey, pretty lady, you don't need to steal. Growing pains. I know life gets rough, but that don't change the way that you feel. Hey, pretty lady, your feelings are true. I feel them inside because you are me and I am you. And yeah, it's it's not easy to talk about your feelings for anybody. So I just want people to know you're not alone. You know, we all have some type of emotional scarring, whether it's from our childhood or from a relationship or from family or just traumatic events that have permanently scarred us. Um, yeah, well, I guess that's it for right now. If you guys want to see more videos, more poetry, anything, let me know. I'm open to whatever. Um, I'm pretty open about how I feel. I'm pretty open about giving advice. I'm pretty open about my experiences. Um, so ask me anything. Send over some poem requests and I'll shout you out something. We could all heal each other. All right, I'm done. Bye, you guys.